Hello, welcome back, welcome to the top of the world, welcome to the channel, welcome to today's show. I'm pretty sure last time we left off on the cabin build, I had put this window frame and the door frame in the van, and we were going back to the shop to repair, alter, change and make some posts. Well, today we start that process. The first thing I want to do is take this window frame apart that I'm leaning on, and I'll show you why. I've already made up the posts this morning, and then we'll move on to the door. It's average end of summer day. These are the posts. I've planed them up and I've rounded all the corners. There's only 4 posts going in, and they're not particularly big because that's what the owner wants. Now the next thing is we've got this old window frame, and the sill is rotten. Right, really bad. It's no use. So it was suggested that we could cut a bit out and put a bit in. I'm not doing any of that. I'm taking the whole set out and making a complete new one, because I can't be doing with scarfing stuff in and scarfing stuff out when you're in your own shop, right? Why would you do that? Just take the whole thing off. So I think we've got some rather large nails in the end from underneath, and 2 from this end. So we'll extract the end nails, and then we'll extract those nails. It will come off, and we'll replicate exactly a new bottom section for this window frame and pop that in. And then the door. Everything about the door is wrong. Right, the door and the door frame are now the right size for the hole, but it opens the wrong way and on the wrong side. So we're going to take the hinges off, put them on that side, but turn them round. We're going to take all the lock out and fill it with wood and sand it all down and put the lock back on the other side, but not that lock because there's no key for that lock. I'm going to change the door frame around. So these hinges will come off of this side and go on to the other side. That keep will come off of there and go into there. And we'll make all that work, and we can go and fit the door. We'll put a new sill on the window. We can go and fit the window. We can plane all the sashes to fit into the frames. And we can board up where we don't have a window and seal that cabin up for the winter. Okay, so our first task is remove and make from scratch, from fresh, an entire new sill for this. It's got a number of steps in it. So you've got the, yeah, it's profiled, but we have the technology, the know-how, the machinery and the timber to be able to replicate that exactly and put it all back together. The rusty nail in it. There we go. That's got a very, very rusty nail in it. There we have it. Off. Okay. This is the bit we've got. So the first thing is to do is choose a piece of wood as a blank. Now this was just a cant board, side board off a cant they used for the sill there. Wasn't even a complete. Anyway, and it's different sizes and different depths. So we choose a blank and start making it. Our minimum sizes are, right, I'm going to do this imperial because I've got a confession to make about my imperial metric tape. I might have cut through it on the crosscut saw, and then where I cut through it, one end stayed on the bit of wood and the other end fired back into air and went and that's that. And it happens only once every 10 years or so, but every now and again you cut your tape in half. And I did that. Right, so then we turn our attention to our internal stocks of wood. There are short bits and there are longer and larger bits. And there is our blank. take the split out the end. Alright, so this is our sill and this is our blank. So the first thing we've got to do is get it down to its width, which is inch and 3/4 or 45mm. It's there or thereabouts the right size on its width. It's just a little larger, so I need to be careful on there. But I'm going to get this down to the right width first. I've got this split here I want to take out. I've also got the edge there. Am I too bothered about taking it out? Well, I could put that underneath like this, which is far better than that. You can see the original shape of that. This was definitely a sideboard that they made the set out of. So we can do a better job than new. That's where I am with that. So we have our blank. It is over length, right, so I can cut it down to final length when I'm ready. It is, however, the exact width and the exact thickness of this. So here, it's not going to come out too well on camera. We've obviously got the main style centre here of the sill, and you've got the rebate for the window to close into, and then you've got two double steps, and I don't really know the purpose behind the double steps, but anyway, that's what we've got. So basically then we've got to set up the small spindle table and take this front rebate out, and then a secondary rebate here, the thickness, and then thirdly this last small rebate, and that will give us the exact profile. Then we can take out the mortise joint there, and again on the end, right, not so easy to see, but we have this mortise attempt here, and we've got to remove that. So let's set up the spindle moulder with a block in it first. So firstly we take the fence off of the spindle, like so. Then we go to our cupboard here, and in this cupboard here we get our spanner and our little rod. Have I disconnected the power from this? Oh yeah, definitely disconnected the power. Straighten that, and all the various spacers, and this tool. And we're going to replace that one with this, which is just a standard rebate block. Okay, we can take some of those off. Now we're going to need that up quite high. Let's see if we put that one on. Are we somewhere near where we need to be? No, we can go higher than that. Just takes out all the excess work of adjustment. There we go. Get it up in the air and I'll show you where we go next before I put the fence on. So what we're going to do here is we've got basically 3 rebates to take out. Rebate on this side, and this is the rebate. A larger rebate on this side, and then the smaller step down here. 1, 2, 3. And how you do that is you run that off a fence. Like so. So you wind this down or up. We might as well do this really big rebate first. You wind that all the way up until the cutter block is touching the rebate. Right, and normally I'd do this with the fence on, but I'm doing it because it's easy for you to see. Right, but that's got no depth at the moment, and that's what we use the fence for. Right, so we can start our block. And then you just put scrap wood to put the rebate in the bottom. And then what we can do is we can measure our rebate to make sure we're the same by doing that. At the moment, that rebate's a little deep. Can you see that? Right, the rebate's a little deep. Perfect. Okay, let's put that rebate in there. That is essentially this first rebate. Now what we do is we lower the block down to our second rebate. Okay, so this is our original. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. And this is our working blank. This will be our top, step 1, step 2. right, and this is where the sashes fit into. Okay, then we have one more rebate to do on the other side, which is this bigger rebate, which we're going to turn everything over and then reset the block, do it again. That we have the original profile, and now we have our new blank that's profiled. Just a couple more steps and they'll be looking the same, and we can reinstall this. It's setting one off. Right, so we're ready for reassembly. I'm doing this in one continuous, whilst there's obviously going to be cuts in the film, I'm doing this in one continuous morning because I need to get it done. I'm just approaching the 3.5 hour mark to have made this sill up and get plenty of glue in there, and then we're going to screw it back together. There we go. And this is what we started with. And we can see how that's rotted through. So it's quite a simple process, really. Could you do this by hand with a planer? Oh yeah, you could. It'd just take a little longer. It's just easier and quicker with the spindle if you got one. Anyway, that's the window sill replaced. That's it for this one. And the next one will be on the door. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now.